But next, families of the victims of the 1994 Chinook helicopter disaster say that they will see the UK government in court after the Prime Minister rejected calls for a public inquiry. In a letter to the families, Sir Keir Starmer said a public inquiry would not bring any greater certainty and would not be in the public interest, despite more than 25,000 people signing a petition demanding answers. Well, 29 people died when the military Chinook crashed in the Mull of Kintyre, including senior intelligence and special forces staff. Major Anthony Hornby was one of those killed, and I'm joined now by his daughter, Jenni Hornby. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me on the show.
Well, good to talk to you, Jenni. What was your reaction? Were you surprised by Keir Starmer's response to the calls for a public inquiry?
Unfortunately, I wasn't surprised, deeply sickened and disappointed indeed, but we've been let down so many times by the MOD and the government previously, and we're just really deeply saddened that he is not sticking to his word of duty of candour and giving us the full judge-led inquiry that we deserve.
And I suppose it's not just the families here pushing for this, because I mentioned there the petition, which has been signed by 25,000 people now.
Absolutely. Almost 26,000 people now have, and we're so grateful to them for signing the Justice for the 29 Change.org petition. These are obviously people that are no doubt also sick of state cover-ups, especially from the MOD, the likes of the nuclear scandal and, many other military scandals, which are utterly disgraceful.
And the argument seems to be that the government feels it wouldn't bring any more certainty for the families and that nothing new could be uncovered from the available evidence. What do you think about that?
Well, none of the inquiries so far have looked at the circumstances that led up to the crash. And this is really what we're interested in. We need to know why our loved ones who were serving their country were put on that unairworthy aircraft. We know, we've got an archive of leaked documents that show the government and the MOD knew that the aircraft wasn't airworthy. The RAF test pilots weren't allowed to fly it. It was considered positively dangerous and not to be relied on in any way whatsoever. So why were these highly trained professionals put on that flight? And that's why we want these documents to be released, and we want full access and accountability through a judge-led review. The MOD has just been marking its own homework for 31 years and not being transparent. And people are coming out now, politicians are coming out and saying that they feel that they've been deceived by the MOD through these inquiries.
So do you think that anything, useful for your campaign is probably sealed away in these documents for 100 years?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we may not ever find out the full reason of why it crashed. We know it wasn't airworthy. We know the FADAC software was faulty, and there have been many reports of issues with the software from RAF engineers themselves. But we just need to know why, in that case, they were put on that flight. And all we're getting from the MOD and now from Keir Starmer is the same weak responses. And it's absolutely pathetic. We got a cut and paste response directly from the MOD, the same letter we've had from the MOD, from Sir Keir Starmer, who has made a pledge to duty of candour. And it's just really sickening.
In the last 30 years, your family has, I'm sure, been sort of consumed by this and trying to find the answers. What is it like to live with something that is your main focus for so long?
Well, it's dealing with grief is tough under any circumstances, but then to not know the reason why your loved one died, puts an added layer of heartbreak and distress on that. And to have to go through this, I mean, the MOD and the government are determined to drag us through the courts after 31 years of pain and trauma and anguish. And it's just disgusting, especially after what they put the pilots through, pilots' families, blaming them for 17 years of gross negligence, which is a complete travesty of justice. So, yeah, it's been utterly heartbreaking, but we are very determined as a group, as the Chinook Justice Campaign. We are united and determined to get the truth.
So what is the next stage then?
So we are currently getting everything together for a judicial review. And what we're doing is having to go through all the legal steps. Now, the Prime Minister has confirmed that he won't intervene and force the MOD to reconsider the public judge-led inquiry. We're going to have to take it all the way through the courts, and we have a fantastic legal team, fantastic support, but we need as much support as possible, from the public, from public figures, MPs many of whom were involved at the time, to really put pressure on the government and to get these answers, access and accountability. We deserve the truth. It's not about what we need, it's about what we deserve after everything we've been through. And at the end of the day, our loved ones risked their life and gave their life for their country.
Jenni, thank you very much indeed for joining me. That's Jenni Balmer Hornby there, whose father, Major Anthony Hornby, was one of those killed in the Chinook crash.